Yeah.
Go. Gotta get there fast, Sean.
Yeah.
Gotta get there fast, Sean. There it is.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Huddle. I'm Alex.
And I'm Tim.
And we're going to be talking about the conference championship games and the Super Bowl predictions.
So the first game we want to talk about, of course, was the AFC championship game between the Chiefs and the Bengals. We both predicted the Bengals to pull it out in the end.
Quick disclaimer, I said that the Chiefs were going to win. Me and my father got that info incorrect.
However, that's not how it went. The game was great. It was a really good game. By far the best game of the day. Back and forth, each team countering each other's big plays. Just at the end, you had that roughing the pass penalty. Who was it by?
Osai.
Yeah, Osai. And as you could see, the way he was reacting afterwards, he was really emotionally distraught. He let his team down. But, you know, you're not going to let your whole game be defined by one play. You can't blame that one play on why they lost the game. You should just play better defense throughout. You should have scored more points. I mean, that's what it came down to. Got any stats you want to talk about?
Daddy Joe threw 2 interceptions and only 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Final score was 23-20. Of course, Asai last second unnecessary roughness led to an easy field goal for the Chiefs to seal the deal to make their run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Harrison Butker, he's seasoned. He's a veteran. That was a cakewalk for him, especially at home.
All right, guys. The second game that we want to talk about is the Eagles versus the 49ers. Eagles had a free ride to the Super Bowl. Against
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean the Giants. It should have been us getting our masses stomped.
You don't know that. I mean, maybe Kirk would have found some magic deep inside his soul that he's never found before.
His chains that he rocked.
Yeah. Maybe he would have been like coming out with brass knuckles on, and it would have been a totally different game. You just don't know.
Right. But still, final 31-7.
Right.
Brock Purdy getting injured, really crazy.
Let's back up a second before the Brock Purdy injury.
Okay.
4th down and 3. Eagles just passed midfield. They decide to go for it because they're cocky and they're arrogant. Throws that long, deep down, pass along the sideline. Eagle receiver goes up, comes down with the ball, immediately gets up, gives his teammates a hand signal. They rush back to the line, snap it on the next play. Of course, they end up getting a touchdown as that drive concludes. They're up 7-0. San Fran responds. But besides that, of course, they showed, and as everybody knows, the guy really didn't catch the ball. The way that receiver reacted, if San Fran was smart, they would have called a timeout and gave their guys a chance to look at the play. They, of course, would have challenged it. Even after the timeout, they would have challenged it. The ball would have been turned over, and San Fran would have the ball still 0-0. Could have been a completely different game because you're going to call the game differently. When you're down 7-0, now you have to score, right? You have to match that. If it's 0-0, your play calling is going to be different. So what happens? Hassan Reddick, former Panther, we let him go. Apparently, we had other plans during the NFL. What do you call it? The Super Bowl media week this week. Hassan Reddick was asked, why did he leave the Panthers? And he responded, well, apparently they told me they had other plans. I don't know why you let an edge rusher like him go because he led our team in sacks last year. But anyway, blew right past the offensive lineman that was guarding him. Hit Purdy I was throwing. Jacked up his elbow, tore ligaments. He's actually got to get Tommy John surgery, which is a surgery that baseball pitchers are known to get because it's that throwing motion when they rotate their arm and they're throwing the ball. So that's very unfortunate for him. They're saying it's going to be at least a year recovery. I don't know how he comes back at the start of the year, but maybe he will. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So when Brock Purdy gets injured, the person that comes in is Josh Johnson.
Who? Just kidding. He was a deer in headlights. 100%. Like when it was still 7-7, and sorry, when Eagles went up 14-7, and John Johnson was still kind of looking lost in the sauce. I think it was the first play of their drive after the Eagles. I think I just went up 14-7. First down, 10, shotgun formation, hikes the ball, fumbles it. Like he fumbles the snap thrown to him. And Eagles get the ball. They go up 21-7. I cut off the game then because I knew it was over. 21-7, and you got some guy in that's technically your fourth string because you got Purdy, Garoppolo, Trey Lance. Yeah, like their fourth string guy. Like, oh, good lord, I think that's like your practice squad quarterback at that point. I don't know. Did you continue to watch it? I don't know if you were following it.
I was following it. John Johnson got injured as well.
Oh yeah,
he later in the game.
He left with a concussion.
And that means they had to resort to an emergency quarterback who is Christian McCaffrey.
Right. Which he can throw the ball, but he's not a quarterback. Exactly. So at that point, it was pretty much, let's just run the ball and get this game over with. I think he only had one pass attempt.
Yeah, only one, and he didn't complete it.
Because look at the score, they're like, yeah, this game's over. We'll just keep running the ball and have mercy on our soul. Which, of course, Philadelphia didn't. They won 31-7. Like you said, easy ride to the Super Bowl. So, I don't know. Got any other stats you want to talk about?
Miles Sanders got 2 touchdowns.
Oh, the running back for the Eagles.
Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much all I really got from it. Of course, there were 2 other touchdowns, but I just don't feel like talking about it because it was such a blowout that I don't even really care.
Yeah, it wasn't competitive. Like obviously if Purdy doesn't get hurt, completely different ball game because he already matched one of their scores and they were trying to drive and that's when he got the injury.
Right.
Unfortunate injury because Mr. Irrelevant, he became irrelevant again. So it is time for the Super Bowl prediction. As you can see, we do have a guest for the Super Bowl prediction. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I wonder if
Okay, all right. So Eagles versus the Chiefs. The number 1 seeds from both conferences. Pretty much the best teams from each conference the whole year. Pretty consistent. Vincent, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl and why?
Kansas City Chiefs because they're the best.
Kansas City Chiefs because they're the best. There you go, folks. That's all we needed to say. All right, Alex, what do you got going on with the Super Bowl? What you thinking?
I think the Eagles will win the Super Bowl, and only because they're the more well-rested team. Okay. They had a free ride to the Super Bowl, no troubles whatsoever. Chiefs been struggling pretty much throughout the playoffs. I mean, they did have a bye. They played against the Jags, pretty close game. Then they played against the Bengals, super close game.
You don't think that kind of like builds character, like playoff character, or you just think because they had such emotional games?
They had such emotional games, like the Bills and Vikings, that they're gonna lose, like the Cowboys and Vikings.
Whoa!
No, I'm joking. I'm not like that.
Okay, because that was really bad. That was really bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I think that Eagles will win. Let's see, 35-31.
So we've had quite some time to think about the teams and who's going to do what and all that stuff. The Chiefs, they did place wide receiver McCole Hardman, who was their not Tyreek Hill type speed, but the guy that can burn people deep. They did place him on the injured reserve, so they lost their deep threat. They did activate Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a running back from the injured reserve. He's been sitting there healthy, waiting to have his chance. So with that open roster spot, they got a fresh set of legs to run with. Now, if the Eagles, which I'm going to assume they're going to double team Travis Kelsey because he's probably the main reason why the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. He's just been eating teams up. If they double team Kelsey, I like who's Mahomes going to throw the ball to? Like I have no clue. Who's I know they got that one guy, Marquez Scanling or whatever his name is, Scantling. But that's just one guy. If he ends up being the MVP, they have a chance. I don't see that happening. I too am going to pick the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I just think their defense, especially with Hassan Reddick on the defensive line, has a better chance of getting maybe some strip sacks or even just sacks. Mahomes, he's coming up 2 weeks off basically with that ankle injury. That's probably going to be completely healed, but will he be hesitant to run the ball? He might be running for his life like he was against the Buccaneers a few years ago. So I do think the Eagles will win. If you're a conspiracy theorist and you think that the NFL is rigged, you think the final is going to be 37-34 Eagles over Chiefs. Been a lot of jokes in the last week and a half, 2 weeks about the NFL being scripted, and supposedly the final score was leaked for the Super Bowl, 37-34 Philadelphia. Obviously, if it is scripted, they're going to change that because they don't want to prove that it's scripted. So you got people in Vegas spending money saying the final is going to be 37-34. Like that's a waste. That's a waste. Of money. A waste of money. Like they're not going to allow that to happen.
Small chance that could actually be.
Well, of course. But the fact that if it did happen, the NFL would be a laughing stock. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring, simply because Philly's defense, I don't think is going to allow the Chiefs to score 34. I can see maybe the Chiefs getting 24. But the Chiefs' defense is obviously not as good as the Eagles. I think it'll be 30-24 Eagles, and then they'll play that stupid fight song that they have, "Fly Eagles Fly." Shout out to Mike McCarty if you're watching this video. I shouldn't have said it was stupid, but I think it's stupid. Anyway.
I do want the Chiefs to win, though.
Well, of course. Okay. I want the Chiefs to win. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Just like we wanted the Bengals to win. All right, guys. That does it for this episode of the Holder Huddle. Go ahead and comment with what your predictions are for the game. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave those comments. You can shoot us text if you have our phone numbers. Vincent, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, everybody. And I hope you guys have a great day. And peace.